for Michael Davey. Right, all good. Leader of the council, Councillor Hugh Thomas. Brilliant. Believe me, like the last time I was here, it didn't get anywhere near as much applause. So nice to get some positivity in the room, and yeah, really glad from a personal perspective to be able to be here, and congratulate you guys on some really good effort in going through the essential skills training. So congratulations to you guys, and well done for investing in yourself. And I'm really proud that the council's been able to put that investment in with you guys to now hopefully get you guys to the next level, and I hope you appreciate that, and hopefully you've got your eyes on what the next level afterwards is now, and hopefully we can continue the conversations about how we support you to take those next steps as well. I just want to talk to you briefly about capital ambition. I've been down to Lamby Way. This is my third visit. First two visits just meeting the guys on the shift, and we had a really good Q&A afterwards, and it's a pretty robust questioning, and there were lots of issues that came out in that meeting, and hopefully a lot of them are now being addressed, and Jane's been updating me about some of the actions we've taken since those meetings. I know my cabinet member Michael's been down here a couple of more times as well. So clearly there are some operational issues that we need to continue to work through. But I also want to talk to you a little bit about our kind of grander vision for Cardiff as a city. Clearly we live in a democracy. Cardiff Council is kind of run, the direction of Cardiff Council is set by the councillors who are elected. We were elected again in May. But I recognise that whatever we want to do, that's a pipe dream unless we can get you guys bought into it, because it's you guys ultimately on the coalface who are doing the hard work. And so I just want to take the chance to talk to you about our ambition for the capital and how we see that being shaped together. Like I said last time I came, the thing that really strikes me about Cardiff Council is the diversity of the services we offer. So we offer, we provide 700 different services across the council, one of the largest employers in Wales. And I think what's really important is that each one of us, we don't just work for the council, we work for the city. And believe me, that's a real privilege to be able to do something that's really putting some public good back into the city. I know when I come to work that I've got the opportunity to really change where I live for the better, and I hope that you guys feel a little sense of that as well. That you come here, you're doing a public good in your job, and I think that's incredibly important for people's motivation. We recognise as well that our success as an administration relies on a strong partnership between us as politicians and you guys, the professionals. We want to be a member-led authority where the direction is set by us as the cabinet. We know there'll be some tough decisions we've got to make over the next 5 years. What we're prepared to do, we're prepared to take those tough decisions and stand by them. And then, you guys as council staff, we've got the highest expectations of you as well, to deliver with the utmost commitment, creativity and compassion on behalf of the city. And look, we know we need to get better at managing performance, we need to get better at managing budgets, stuff like sickness absence, a few people ill today, we don't know their names, how they got in the black book. But we also do want to invest in our council staff to develop their skills, exactly like the Essential Skills programme. I was just talking to Paul just last week about how really, we need a career structure in the council where, from the bottom rung to the top rung, there's a career path that everybody sees, A, how they play a role in the organisation, and B, how they can get to the top, and hopefully what they would need to do to progress through that. So I'm really keen that we put that into place. And there are support opportunities for staff through learning development, including, as many of you will know, through NVQs and apprenticeships. And there are also opportunities for staff to retrain, to develop new skills, including critical skills like reading, writing, maths and digital literacy. And I think one of the sea changes we'll see over the next 4 or 5 years, I think, is that approach to digital, as more and more people start using the internet, digital facilities as default, not as a secondary choice. And there's also recognition on my part that staff are investing their own time into these courses in order to develop their own personal careers and as well to improve service delivery. So I'll say it again, well done you, congratulations on your hard work in what you've received today. Now, in terms of capital ambition, and you've got the documents on your seat, so do have a read through in your own time. And if something jumps out at you saying, "Oh, that doesn't make sense," or "Oh, that's a great idea. I know I could do this," then please do drop me a line, drop me an email with any thoughts. It's structured around the cabinet portfolio. Clearly, probably the environmental one is probably the one that you might have most interested in, because you guys here at Lamby are going to be critical in us delivering our ambitions around environment. We know we've got statutory recycling targets, 64% recycling by 2020, 70% recycling targets by 2025. So that's a huge ask in and of itself, continuing the behaviour change. But I was looking at some tables last week. Back in 2001, Cardiff recycling rates were at 4%, and we were being compared with places like Copenhagen that were at 20%. Well, over the last 50 years, we've overtaken them. We've blown them apart, and I think Wales is the country, the second best recycling country in the world. So it just shows what we can do when you've got that political will and officers, council staff working together to make that behaviour change. We want to improve the air quality in Cardiff. So on Sunday afternoon, I went for a run around Rover Way and around the back of the steelworks. I'm not doing that again because it wasn't particularly pleasant, and past the incinerator. We recognise that we've got some of the most polluted streets in Cardiff. Many of you guys might be driving, pretty big vehicles in terms of what they put out. Same as buses. So again, that's something we want to look at. What can we do to invest in the fleet and get it to a modern fleet that's not non-polluting? Zero tolerance policy on fly tipping and street littering. As a local councillor, I represent the Waters Block. I can tell you, I win or lose elections on how clean that street looks, and it drives me mad when you've got probably 1% of the population who just have no respect for where they live, and let the dog poo, recycling, truck fly tipping everywhere. It's just not acceptable. We need to be absolutely clear. Those people who do not abide by the rules, they're going to be fined, they're going to be fined, they're going to be fined until they change their behaviour. And then we want to encourage local groups, community-minded people who want to do litter picks, the Keep Cardiff initiative. We want to back them all the way so that they are the exemplar that people see. So when you walk down the street, you'll see people picking up litter, not checking it. And again, we've got a role as a council to support that. So there was a litter pick in Splot on Saturday. I think they had about 30 people there. They collected 58 bags, but the council were there as well, with the vans to collect that as well. So as a community and the council working hand in glove, that's the sort of stuff I want to see in terms of the environment. Other areas of priority, creating more and better jobs in the city. I'm really concerned about the inequality we've got, where the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer, and you've got all these inequality gaps across the city, particularly between the south and the north. Healthy life expectancy gap is 22 years between parts of the south of the city and parts of the north of the city. That's unacceptable in my view, and I want to make sure that the council plays its part in addressing that inequality. So that's why, for example, we're investing in schools. We want every school in Cardiff to be a good school, not this kind of postcode lottery with catchment areas. We want wherever you live, you can go to the local school around the corner, and that's guaranteed to be a good school. So I'm really proud that we're putting £300 million into a new school building programme to schools, particularly in the southern arc, but wherever there's sufficiency and condition issues, we're going to get to grips with it. Because I believe that the first step on the path out of poverty is giving people a good education. And then the second part on the path out of poverty is getting them access to good jobs. So we are taking forward a number of pretty high profile projects. If you've been to the centre of the city recently, the development north of the station, that's going to be followed now shortly by development out south of the station, down Dunballs Road. We're going to start building the bus station very, very soon. Watch this space. But you might have seen in the news last week, we've now secured commitment from the City Deal, which is the kind of the city region group of local authorities, for investment into Cardiff train station as well. Because by middle of next decade, that station is going to be at capacity every day. So we want to do something about that, get it to be a fit-for-purpose train station, again, so that people can come in, access jobs, and if you're an investor, if you're a business looking to maybe buy an office, open an office in Cardiff, you're looking at the offer we've got in the city centre, and you think, yeah, that looks really good, I'm going to open my office there. Because every project we're going to take forward, be it that investment in the transport, be it the indoor arena we want to build in the city as well, needs to translate into good jobs for the people of Cardiff, and that's an absolute commitment. The other area that I'm desperate that we make progress on is around housing. We know the situation with social housing in the city. We've got really good quality social housing because we've invested in it over the years, but we've got 8,000 people on a waiting list waiting for houses. In my surgery last month, I had 2 single women with, between them they had 5 kids. They both lived in a 1-bedroom flat, and between them they've been on the housing waiting list for close to 25 years. Unacceptable, just unacceptable. And what kind of future are we preparing for those kids if they're growing up in a cramped 1-bedroom flat, sharing a bedroom with their mum? So that's why, as a minimum, Cardiff Council are going to be building 1,000 council homes over the next 4 years. And I say that as a minimum because if we find a way to build more, and we're actively looking, we will do. Also as a minimum is that commitment to 6,500 affordable homes to be built as part of the LDP. So the city's growing, and that's a good thing because successful cities grow. But as part of our plan to build 44,000 homes in Cardiff generally over the next 10 years, next 8 years, 6,500 of those definitely will be affordable homes to get as many people into good accommodation as possible. In my view, that's a fundamental right. And I just want to talk quickly then about modernising and integrating services as well. Austerity hasn't gone away. In fact, it is getting worse despite whatever rhetoric we hear in Westminster. We have to save, in the medium-term financial plan, 30 million per year over the next couple of years. So that's a challenge, and we're going to have to look at our services and see how we reform, how we keep them efficient. We're going to have to look at our property estates. At the moment, we've got 500 operational properties across the city, and we're paying £60 million a year just to heat and light them. That's not salaries, that's just to keep the lights running and keep the heaters going. So what can we do to make the estate more efficient? What can we do if we sell that, with that money, to invest maybe in a new fleet, or maybe in better buildings for our staff that are more efficient? I've spoken about digital. Clearly the way the people of Cardiff interact with the council is going to change in the next 5 years. We need to make sure that as our staff, you guys are set up to respond to that change as well. And I do think we need to move away from dealing with problems in isolation and begin to integrate frontline teams. So a total street approach, for example, to how we keep streets and public spaces clean. And it's got implications as well. I do want to move away from a culture where, oh, that's not my job. And I've heard that from members of the public that so and so said to me, they work for the council, oh, that's not my job. Well, it might not be your job, but what can you do to link it up to the person whose job it is? It is that culture shift, and I come back to the fact that we're working for the city. So what can we do to really make sure that we deliver best value for the city? But look, I also recognise wisdom doesn't sit exclusively around the cabinet table. I sometimes wonder whether it sits at all around the cabinet table. It's you guys who know how the systems work. I want to unlock your creativity, your innovation, your ideas for how you can deliver services better. I don't think there's no such thing as a stupid idea. Let's look at it, let's listen to it. And what really frustrates me, and I'm sure it drives you really frustrated at the wall as well, is this treacle that sometimes exists in the council where you want to get something done, and for whatever reason, it just seems to take forever. So that's what I want to get rid of, to empower you guys, empower all our staff. If there's something that is good and ought to be done, just crack on and do it. So to conclude, my commitment to you as leader of the council is to work with you, with all of you to make Cardiff a better place for all our people to live in, rooted in the values of fairness and social justice. We've got a chance of the next 5 years to set the course for Cardiff for the next quarter of a century. That is a course that is ambitious for the people that we serve, and ambitious for Wales. I think it's a historic chance. I think it's an exciting opportunity, and I really want to work with all of you to make it a reality. So thanks for your time today, and any questions, ask Paul.